Hey everyone. So we're doing something a little bit different today. I'm not really sure what we're doing. I'm not even sure I'm going to use this. I just really felt like I needed to kind of vent and get some things off my chest. So if it's useful, that's great. And if not, then that's great too. Maybe it'll just serve as some form of therapy. But I am very aware of how I look. I have not like brushed my hair or done anything with my face, but we're just gonna roll with it. So, yeah. Mm. Honestly, this morning is not going great. Oh, I don't know what I want or what I need. I need a vacation, a break. I'm so freaking stressed out. I want to be productive today. This is what depression looks like, by the way, just in case anybody's wondering. I think that people think it's like a choice somehow, or that it is somehow encouraged by the attitude of the person dealing with it or the actions. But I woke up this morning with every intention of having a good, productive day and of doing the things that I had planned. But now my brain is like weighing me down, and there's just negative thoughts. It's just really hard to dig out of that and get motivated and like just do the things that you want or need to do. I think some people also think that when someone says they're depressed or that their depression maybe stop them from being able to do something, I think they think it's an issue of like, oh, well, you just didn't want to do it bad enough, but there are things I want so badly that I have sacrificed for, that I have put so much energy and effort into, and I just still can't. I'm sorry, it's really hard right now because I'm still in the thick of it, and I thought it would be a good idea to make this video because I thought it might help, and I think it is helping me just to even try to like put it into words, but there really aren't words, or it's just like really hard to describe how I'm feeling or how depression feels in general. And some of this in my particular experience today is aggravated by PMDD. And it's really, I hate even acknowledging that or mentioning that because it feels like when you say, oh, I'm having PMS or whatever, if I feel like it invalidates the feelings. It's like, oh, they're just irrational feelings that I have because PMS or whatever. But it's like those feelings are still real. For one, I'm still experiencing them. So I'm still having to feel them, deal with them, navigate through them, live my life, go about my day while I feel this way, and still having an effect on me. Just because you are having PMS or that's the part of your cycle that you're in and that your hormones are acting a little differently, which causes maybe some of the feeling, it doesn't make them any less valid. They're real feelings, are about real things in your life that you're experiencing and going through. It may be that you are feeling it a little stronger or that you're reacting to it a little bit more vividly than you normally would. But the feelings are real. They're feelings about real things in my life, real stresses that I have, actual issues. If these things didn't exist, or, if I wasn't stressed about them to begin with, I would have woken up feeling fine today. PMS doesn't create problems that aren't there. It just maybe makes you feel a little more strongly about them or react to them a little more vividly than you would when you aren't having those surges of hormones. But I just absolutely hate when it gets written off like, oh, you're PMSing. Somehow it does help just to try to unload it and like try to make sense of it, try to talk about it, talk it through. But it's just some days are hard and we still have to parent and we still have to like go about our lives. And I wish that people who didn't suffer with depression or anxiety or other like mood disorders, I wish that there was a way to illustrate it, to show what it's like. So that maybe people would be more patient, more sensitive, more compassionate. Even though I think that we currently, in my generation especially, or at least in like today's current society, we have a lot more awareness of it. You know, people feel more comfortable talking about it than maybe they did 20 years ago. I do think that in, you know, maybe like my parents' generation, it wasn't something that anybody would have acknowledged or have felt comfortable talking about or saying. So I definitely feel like we're making progress, but there are still comments and I still hear things from people all the time that just clearly shows me that they don't understand what this feels like. Because if you did, you wouldn't feel that way. You wouldn't say those things. So coffee helps. Coffee helps everything except for caffeine addiction. So yeah, I had all these plans for this morning and then I woke up and I felt like crap and the house was a mess. There was camping gear everywhere still from this weekend. We went camping this past weekend and we're also going camping this coming weekend. So I think that the feeling was kind of like, oh, we're going to have to repack all this stuff anyway. It just stresses me out to wake up and come out into the living room and it's just like full of clutter. I feel like I spend literally half of my life picking up my living room. And then I went in the kitchen and I had just done the dishes last night. And somehow there's always new dishes and I don't know where they come from. And then Soul was just like whiny this morning, which it's so hard for me to deal with. I cannot stand it. And I know that that's like a symptom in and of itself. He was whining because he wanted a cookie as his breakfast or with his breakfast, one or the other. And I told him, you know, no. He just was not thrilled about that. He was whining about it. It just like set me off. Yeah, then I realized that the trash hadn't gone to the street this morning. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna have to go do that. And it's raining out, so I gotta drag that down the driveway. And then I'm all out of breath and I'm hot and I'm sweaty and and that's where I'm at. So I came in after I did that and I made coffee and I cleaned up the living room a little bit and I tried to start organizing some of the camping gear, piling the dirty laundry and that kind of stuff up, which is just like another thrilling thing I get to do. Tons of laundry all the time. Try to remind myself in the midst of these moments, and I think this is the really important part. Like, this is the key to how I stay afloat, even though I have moments where I feel like I am truly just not going to be able to dig myself out of it. And by the way, I want to mention that I am not like under the impression that these are really bad problems or anything. Like, I feel like some people will watch this and say, oh, you know, so many people out there dealing with so much worse stuff, and here you're whining about the trash not going to the street. I'm aware that there's real problems in the world. It doesn't make it any less valid to feel like crap about little things, one. So that needs to be noted. The other thing is that there's a lot more that I'm not sharing right now, for one thing. So we shouldn't judge just like, oh, well, they're complaining or they're always moaning about these, you don't know what they're going through. So that's the other thing. Like I said, it doesn't make a small problem less important just because there are bigger problems. People always, I would complain like, it's cold in South Carolina, and all my friends and family in New York are like, it's -20 here, I don't want to hear it. And it's like, well, just because it's colder there doesn't mean it's not cold here. Anyway. No, I mean, it's just like, just because there are bigger problems doesn't mean that your smaller problems don't matter, or that they're not, just as important. I wanted to bring it up that I'm aware that some of these things are small things, because I try to remind myself that I have a lot to be grateful for. And that's how I usually dig myself out of it. So it's not like, oh, these problems aren't valid, or you shouldn't be upset about this, or don't feel sad, or whatever. It's not that I tell myself that. I just, when I get in the deep of it, and when it's really thick and heavy, I try to make my brain focus on the good things, not because the bad things aren't important, but a lot of them are going to be there, and a lot of them aren't going to change, and there's really nothing I can do about it. These problems, just aren't going to go away. It's like, we have to find a way sometimes to accept that these things exist in our life, and we're going to be upset about them, and they're going to suck, and they're not going to go away or even get better. But if we balance them out with the good that we have, if we remind ourselves about the positive and the uplifting things in our life, maybe we can see how it's worth it. Oh, I have all these things weighing me down, but I have all these other things bringing me back up. And that's really where I try to find myself. I try to think, okay, I have this great family. I have a husband who works hard, who loves me, who takes care of us. I have a son who is everything. He smiles, and the whole world is better because of it. For those two things especially, I am incredibly grateful. I have my dogs, who bring me so much happiness and love and joy, and our home. It takes care of us, and it keeps us sheltered and safe, and we have the ability to travel. We have great friends, wonderful friends, the best friends, and we get to go so many places and do so many things with them. Not so much lately because of all this, and that has been really hard, and probably a big part of what has been aggravating my depression and stuff lately. My family is awesome. I mean, we butt heads a lot, and we don't always agree about everything, but you don't have to. We're here for each other. We support each other. We love each other. So grateful to have that. So grateful to have that. I grew up with my family, so I never knew anything else. And, I just thought everybody was that way. Supportive, understanding, encouraging, and so on. And then as I became an adult, I realized wow, this is really kind of rare. And, I'm really lucky to have this group of people. I have a career that I love, that fulfills me, that just makes my heart just beat. Through massage and body work, I have found a way to make money and enjoy what I'm doing, which is, to me, the secret. That is it. We have to have money. We have to do something to make money to survive. And the grind, the day-to-day, the 9 to 5 at a place where somebody's watching and like a hawk, and just I just hate jobs. I've had a lot of them. I have done every entry-level thing under the sun. I just hated getting up and going somewhere and giving it my all to, one, benefit somebody else, make somebody else rich, because it was never going in my pocket, and two, to not even be appreciated or respected for all the work and effort I was putting in. I hated having regular jobs. And I'm so grateful for my career, where all the hard work and all the effort I put in pays out to me. That's how I motivate myself to do well, because it directly benefits myself and my customers. Not to mention, what I'm doing is something that I feel so passionately about, that it's such a good thing to be putting out into the universe, Those are the things that once I kind of get through the initial punch of the depression that hits me when I first wake up in the morning and like everything kind of spirals. And then it's worse, like I said, if things aren't going right around the house or in my day, like it just aggravates it. Once I kind of get through that initial rush, I try to bring my brain back to my gratitude. And most of the time, like you can see now, as I've been talking about these good and positive things in my life, it starts to calm me down. That kind of starts to balance out all the raging negativity that was flowing around in there. And so it's an active, conscious process. It's not something that comes easily. It's something that you have to remind yourself to do. You have to have a trigger in your brain that reminds you, okay, I'm feeling this thing and it's totally valid and I need to feel it and I need to process it. But I cannot drown in it. I cannot let it take me totally from this day, from this moment. I can't let it have all the control. When I'm starting to feel that, like I'm losing myself to the moment, to the feeling, to the depression, that's the moment where I have placed my reminder. So it's like a conscious process that you have to go through in your brain. When you're not experiencing depression or anxiety, you have to practice this when you're in a quote unquote normal state of mind, to train your brain to do it when you are having the depression or the anxiety. When I'm feeling good, I have to remind myself when you get to that feeling, and I have to think about that feeling, that depressed, lonely, like just totally helpless feeling. I think about that. And while I'm feeling that, I put the reminder there, lift yourself back up. Take a deep breath. Let these things matter. And then try to let them go just long enough that a little bit of gratitude can slide in. Just start with one thing. Just remind yourself of one thing, and then you go from there. It actually makes it not so bad, not so daunting, when I remember that all I have to do when I'm at that bottom, like when I'm in the thick of it, all I have to do is remember one positive, uplifting thing. And I just sit there and I take a few breaths and I try to open my mind to that. And then it comes flowing in. It takes a lot of practice. Like I said, when I'm feeling good, I have to consciously think about this. I have to remind myself when I'm feeling good. So it's hard because when you're feeling good, who wants to think about when they're feeling bad? But if you want to get better, or if you want to have more control, or if you don't want to let it totally take you, you have to do something, to turn it around, because it's so easy to just let it waste a whole day. And I've done that so many times. And it's not been until recently that I have started practicing this ability to take the control back. And some people, I'm not saying this works for anybody but me, because I don't know what, it feels like for you. And I don't know the level to which these things affect you. And I know that some people have maybe a different type of depression, and some people need medication or therapy or other professional intervention to help them bring it in and get that control. And so I am not trying to condescend to or belittle anybody who might hear this and think, oh, I gotta take a deep breath, thanks for letting me know. it's not supposed to be that. And I don't intend to understand what everybody's going through and how hard it is. But this is just something that works for me. And I can only assume that some people are in a similar situation that I'm in, and that some people might benefit from this, and that some people might be able to use a similar method. Maybe people can give me some feedback and tell me some of the things that they do. Maybe by putting this out here, I'm opening a door to more help for myself, and suggestions and opinions and that kind of thing are always good, because perspective is the only way that we learn anything. I've always said, even in my other videos, you know, my more educational videos, that I don't claim to have the answers or the solutions for everybody. All I want to do is put information out there that encourages you to find the answers for yourself, to look at your own situation and see what works for you. Do the research. It's not a one size fits all thing. Nothing is. And like I said before, you know, this is just my own perspective, my own opinion on the matter. I am not a professional of any sort. There are a lot of great resources on the internet, and so I have included some of those and some phone numbers and things like that in the description below, you know, in case it can help anybody out, or in case it might be useful for any of you. I hope that some of that made sense or something. Like I said, I'm not really sure I'll end up doing anything with this, but I feel like there's a lack of like reality out there and people just sharing their real selves. I feel like even when I try to grow my brand or my business or like make new content, I feel kind of forced into doing things a certain way. And I don't like that. So I hope that I can keep coming to you like this. Maybe like brush my hair and stuff first next time. You know, if it can be helpful to someone, or if I can gain some more perspective from it, then it was useful and it was helpful and it served a purpose. So we'll just see what happens. I guess in case I do end up using this, I should say, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date on my latest videos. Thanks for watching. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves today. I love you.
I love Dee and you. I love both of you. Take a picture of me.
It's taking a video. Do you want to say anything to the video?
Hello. Hello, Mr. Video. You are a stinking poopy lady. It got in the video.
What got in the video?
I was talking in the video now. Now video's going to tell poop and everyone's going to see it. It's going to say poop and old lady and stinking.
That, yes, everyone's gonna see poop. All right, let's go get some food. What are you doing?
I like your funny faces.